pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will you remain standing for a moment of silence? Thank you very much. Please silence your phones, pagers, and other devices. Item number 1, citizen concerns. Do we have any citizens wishing to speak on a topic that's not on the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, Supervisors, I saw the article in the Sioux City paper this last week about the city of Mobile asking the Board of Supervisors to use some of the bridge money to work on Frontage Street.
Sir?
Wait,
1 second. Would you identify yourself?
Oh, excuse me. Tom Hardy from Pearson.
Okay, thank you.
And the bridge was pretty important a year ago. And I'd just like to make one statement that there was one accident in 17 years, but that other road was open all that time. The other thing is, as a landowner, I voted to raise taxes on myself in 2013 to do bridge work over and above what the county had supplied for it. It didn't get all done and run out of money, but there's already money invested in that bridge there at Mobile. So I am opposed to it as a landowner. It's hard for me to do as a former mayor because I understand where Mobille's coming from. But as a former mayor of Pearson, we have a bridge right east of Pearson that was fine until we hauled all this stuff over it for Highway 20. And your engineer told me when we talked to him at the night you guys were out for your meeting in Pearson, that they would assess everything before that and they would assess everything afterwards and they would fix what needed to be fixed. I guess signs are how you fix the bridge. That's all we've got. So that is my concern. I don't think that the county should spend any money on the frontage road in Mobile. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other citizen concerns for items that are not on the agenda?
I'm Denny Rumo from Mobile. Was this on the agenda tonight? In the news article it said it'd be discussed on the 18th, but I couldn't really see on the agenda where it was.
We did not, it did not.
Yeah, I didn't submit this for the agenda.
So it
was
will not be
supposed
on
to
the
be,
agenda
and I
tonight.
did not get it on for today. But I have the form, but it's just not submitted, so.
Okay, so
It'd have to come back
we will
probably.
be notified.
It'll probably be January 6th then, is that the date? Is that the Tuesday? Is that?
No.
Well, the
2nd, January 2nd.
Yeah.
No, it will be the 2nd. It would be
Be,
that first meeting in January, just a second, I'm bringing up the calendar.
should be the 8th.
January 2nd.
January
8th.
8th, okay.
Okay, that was my concern because the article did say
Okay.
that it would be tonight. So, and there, I kept looking at the agenda and it wasn't there and I didn't know.
That was the plan, but it moved back.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you. Any other items for citizen concerns that are not on today's agenda? As we're bumping up against a public hearing, I will move approval of today's agenda.
Second?
Motion by DeWitt, second by Reddy. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. I believe we are at, we're close enough to our set time, Mr. Gill.
Yes.
Skipping ahead a little bit, secondary roads. Item 8A, third reading of the compression brake use ordinance.
Thank you. Tonight's the appointed time for the final reading of the compression brake ordinance. We're looking at 8 zones where use of compression brakes would be prohibited. US Highway 20 near Lawton, on either side of town. County Route K49 on the north side of Lawton. US 20 around Mobile, so roughly from Humboldt Avenue to the four-way intersection at Mobile. County Road D38 from the intersection of Old Lakeport Road to the intersection of Elk Creek and Buchanan Avenues. US Highway 75 bypass beginning at the Highway 20 interchange and continuing north to the 20th Street Outer Drive interchange. Highway 20 from Buchanan Avenue, Glen Ellen Road intersection west to the US 20 and 75 interchange. Highway 141 at the intersection with Dillon Avenue west to the intersection with Iowa 141 and County Route K45, which is Old Highway 75. And finally, County Road K45, quarter mile north and a quarter mile south of Salix city limits. These are the locations that had been requested. The county attorney's office and my office have reviewed the engine brake ordinance. We had requests both from the Salix and Lawton City Councils to review this. We're combining ordinances 14 and 20 and placing all of these engine brake prohibitions under a single ordinance. That's the limits of our comments.
Any board input?
I'd recommend, or I'd go ahead and move that the board approve the third reading of the ordinance.
Second.
Motion by Taylor, second by Radig to approve the third reading of the compression brake use ordinance. Any other questions?
Rocky, we need to make sure that we open it up for public comment.
Okay. Do we have anybody at the hearing today that is in favor of or opposed to the compression brake use ordinance that we're discussing as we speak?
Hearing none, Mr. Chair, I'd move that we close the public comment portion or hearing.
Second. Motion by Taylor, second by Radig to close the public hearing portion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say nay. Passes 5-0.
And then I'd move the approval of the third reading of the ordinance.
Second.
Motion by Taylor, second by Radig to approve the third reading. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say nay. Passes 5-0.
Do we need another approval of the ordinance itself? And so I'll move the compression brake ordinance and ask for a second.
Second.
Motion by Taylor, second by Radig to approve the ordinance. Any other questions?
Just comment with this approval, we'll send the ordinance out for publication in all the newspapers of record. Signs will be posted both by the DOT and the Secondary Road Department. After that publication period, the ordinance becomes effective upon posting of the signs.
And remind me, the county pays for the signs, but the DOT hangs them?
The DOT pays for and hangs the signs that are on the state highway system. We take care of the ones that are on the county highway system.
Well, we'll just take it out of all the revenue along with the extra deputies, right?
That's right.
Any other questions or comments on this topic? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Ordinance passes 5-0.
This also requires the signature of the county auditor, and we'll fill in the dates of the hearings and get all that sent off to the newspapers.
Okay. Thank you. Stepping back, we're going to go back to the consent agenda. Items 3 through 7 constitute a consent agenda of routine action items to be considered by one motion. Items pass unanimously unless a separate vote is requested by a board member. Item 3, approval of the minutes of the December 11, 2018 meeting. Item 4, approval of claims. Item 5, human resources, approval of memorandum of personnel transactions. Item 6, community economic development, receive quarterly update on rural comprehensive planning project. Item 7, county auditor, consideration and approval for liquor license for the Oscar Carl Vineyard. I will second the motion by Mr. Radig. Any questions on the consent agenda? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. Item 8. Got kind of a big deal.
You mean 9?
9.
Item 9, sorry, I scribbled over my own numbers. Presentation of resolution thanking and commending Angela Funderman for years of service with Woodbury County. Deputy Funderman, would you please come to the podium? Woodbury County, Iowa, resolution number 12,794, a resolution thanking and commending Angela Funderman for her service to Woodbury County. Whereas Angela Funderman has capably served Woodbury County as an employee of the Sheriff's Office for 29 years, from September 6th, 1989 to December 30th of 2018, and whereas the service given by Angela Funderman as Woodbury County employee has been characterized by her dedication to the best interests of the citizens of Woodbury County, and now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Woodbury County, Iowa, that the undersigned members of this board thanks and commends Angela Funderman for her years of service to Woodbury County, and be it further resolved that it is the wish of all those signing below that the future hold only the best for this very deserving person, Angela Funderman. Be it so resolved on this 20th day of November, 2018. Thank you for your service.
Congrats, Angie. Doesn't seem all that long ago, does it?
No, it doesn't. Come on, Todd.
Thank you very much.
Well, you know, I don't know whose seat I'm going to take up there, but it will be somebody's.
All right.
All right.
I think she lives in your district, Rock. Is that right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 10, community economic development, approval of construction evaluation resolution relating to a confinement feeding operation structure.
Good evening, David Gleiser, Community Economic Development Director. This is a pretty routine resolution. The state DNR administrative rules require that if a county wants to participate in the Master Matrix program in the upcoming calendar year, specifically between February 1st and January 31st, the county supervisors must adopt a construction evaluation resolution and get that submitted to the DNR between January 1st and 31st. If the county does not adopt a construction evaluation resolution for the upcoming year, then we will not be able to submit a formal recommendation to the Iowa DNR concerning a particular construction permit application. The county can submit comments, but they're not given nearly as much weight by the DNR as a formal recommendation would be. We cannot send county employees along on a DNR site inspection or appeal the DNR's decision regarding a construction permit application to the Environmental Protection Commission. In addition, if the county chooses to use the Master Matrix, then applicants must meet stricter environmental standards than they would have to meet otherwise. So using the Master Matrix provides greater environmental protection for the county. As of February 1st of 2018, 89 counties in Iowa have passed a construction evaluation resolution. The recommendation from the Community Economic Development Department is to approve the resolution as proposed.
This is an annual thing, is it not?
Yes.
Do you know what constitutes a large CAFO, or what's?
Over 1,000 animal units,
Okay.
so pretty large scale operations.
Do you know how many of these we get a year? That
I think in the last 10, 12 years, the county's had one.
okay, so pretty rarely use it. Okay, thank you. I'd move the construction evaluation resolution as proposed.
Second.
Motion by Taylor, second by Potabom to approve the construction evaluation resolution. Any further questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. Want this one, or are they both the same?
Oh, that's the same, sorry.
Item 11, canvass of Sergeant Bluff, Luton, and River Valley School Districts special elections.
I'm Steve Huffmeyer, Deputy Commissioner of Elections. I have the abstract of votes and the canvass of the Sergeant Bluff Luton Community School special election here. They had a special bond election of which they needed 60% to pass. However, it did not pass. They only received 47% voting in favor. We had 2 provisional ballots, which were both rejected. They were folks that lived outside of the Sergeant Bluff Luton School District, but they owned property in Sergeant Bluff, so they felt they were entitled to vote, which they were not. Then we had 6 after-election ballots that came through. 2 of those were counted. 4 were rejected because they did not have the timely postmark on them. So, got the paperwork here for you to sign on that one. Should be 3 pages there.
Received.
Is
Someone-
one inside here then?
I will second. Motion by Taylor, second by DeWitt.
There's 4.
All those in favor say aye.
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 So there's supposed to be 4 pages?
No, just 3.
Opposed say nay.
That's the third one.
There's 2 of them, though.
And he's got,
1, 2,
oh, I'm
3,
sorry,
4.
yeah, must be 4 then.
okay.
My error.
Just sign anything in your
Just
hand.
sign it, whatever
They
it
had,
says.
they had 2
Just sign it and pass it
propositions, so
along.
it's my-
Too many, he can shred it.
Okay, and then next I also have the abstract of votes and canvass for the River Valley Community School District special election. They had a PEPL special election, which only required a majority to pass, and they had 57% that voted in favor of that one, so this one did pass.
Move to receive the canvas.
Second.
Motion by DeWitt, second by Potabom. Those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Item 12, reports on committee meetings. Mr. Reddy?
I did have a Sioux Rivers meeting today that was mostly just routine business, but there was one item, a request from the Friendship House through Sioux Mental Health to get some funding of $9,405 for a kitchen repair. It was kind of an emergency deal where a hole actually bust through the subfloor. And they'd like to have a commercial sink in its place where if they're going to do large pots and pans that they would be able to fit in the sink. Anyway, I had moved the proposal as it was, and that didn't get a second. Dennis had said it was, within terms to ask for the 61%, if Woodbury were to stick, it was about 5,737, I think was the exact amount. It's 61% funding into that project. I was going to move that, but instead, Don Cass from Plymouth had moved that Woodbury pay the entire 9405 out of its percentage, out of its 61%. And that passed with Sue and Plymouth supporting and me voting no. So that was just something I thought was kind of interesting because 2 other counties of the region voted to use the other county's funds, but
So we're not a region anymore, or?
well, we are, but we aren't, I guess. But they set that precedent. They said when funding something else, but the Plymouth, I forget what it is.
75 out of the $275,000 for the Plymouth project.
Yeah, it were 175 or 2. I don't remember. Were
Right,
you there?
yeah,
or was
yeah.
it Matthew?
No, I was there.
Okay. But so anyway, that's where that ended, and they're going to work with Dennis to see about coming up with that kind of funding and having us pay for that. So and I'm not opposed to paying for that. I think it's something the region or mental health funds should pay for. It's just
You'd like it to be on a
well,
percentage basis, just as it was for Woodbury's percentage into Plymouth and Sioux. Am I understanding you?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So that was the explanation of the vote that I had there while at the region. So that was a little fireworks back and forth, but I don't know. Listen to the tape if you want.
So transitioning regions, if we can. We had a Rolling Hills meeting in which we heard a variety of budget proposals, including Woodbury County and some different proposals if the region were to do no non-core funding or some limited non-core funding, such as school-based services, the ARC program, Schessler Hall, Sanford Center, et cetera. And went through each of the budget proposals. Also, of note, there were 2 things. They are looking to stand up about $300,000 in new core services. As you know, the legislature mandated these core services such as access centers, et cetera. So if they had put in $300,000, we think that it's incumbent upon Woodbury County on a per capita basis to contribute about $323,000, and we did that on a per population basis. We're running some of the numbers right now, and Dennis and I have been working a little bit with Sioux County, or the fiscal agent. We're going to walk away with about $1.45 million from Sioux Rivers is what we're estimating right now. That'll help us to meet our obligation as well as buy down some of that per capita. Here's an issue that we have right now. Originally, the way that Rolling Hills is set up, they have a 25% reserve as a region, and then a reserve for each of their counties. The state is going to look at that as an aggregate, as a total. And so they have an even greater challenge or opportunity, as you may see it, because they're going to have to spend down those reserve funds to a greater degree. As you know, at the end of this fiscal year, those have to be at 20%. So we're going to have to revisit a little bit what our upfront contribution is going to be, and that's some of the discussions that we'll have. I don't want to get too into the weeds on that, but we did have that discussion, if you have any questions on that.
I don't. Any other reports?
We had the Conservation Board, and I don't see Kenny here. I just they wanted to really thank getting that fiber optic thing done as quickly as they did. They're still upstairs right now because of the remodel and all, but they said it's just so nice to be able to turn on the computer and it actually comes on. They don't have to turn it on, then leave the room for 20 minutes and come back. So they're thrilled with that, and the idea of getting the new phones, which will save them money in the long run, is a great idea too. So they just wanted us to pass it on to Kenny and his crew that they worked tremendous, along with WCICC, and helping them get it all set up and get it going. So it's a project that we were afraid would take a long time, and because of some diligent work, it didn't. So.
And kudos to our WCICC folks over there. And Mr. Malloy is deflecting the credit, I see, but.
Well, the one I could see was laughing when I said it, so.
Any other reports on committee meetings? Item 13, citizen concerns. Any citizen concerns on any item that is not currently on the agenda? Hearing none. Any board concerns? Item 14. We are adjourned.